Welcome to day 5 of the 5-day relationship challenge. I'm Sherry Kubinick, relationship and confidence coach, and I'm so glad that you've joined me for this episode. So remember, this challenge has been designed to help you see your relationship through a new lens so that you can shift your energy, raise your vibe, and create more love and prosperity in your life. And today's episode is all about the foundation for how to do just that. So before we get started, if you've enjoyed these videos and you feel you've got some value from them, please share with a friend who might also benefit. And of course, subscribe. It might help them, it helps me, and it'll make sure that you never miss new content. Okay, so question. Have you ever asked yourself, how did I get here? Right? Like, what happened? This was not the plan. And this is something that I hear, and a question that I hear women ask themselves almost daily. But I'm going to tell you something. So I have made a very successful career out of helping women figure out their relationship patterns. And I've yet to talk to someone who has had things turn out exactly as they planned. And the reason for that is that our goals and our plans are unfortunately not what really drives the direction of the relationship that we're in or really any other area of your life. And I'm going to tell you what I mean. It is your energy that drives your life. And what creates your energy? Your emotions. And of course, what's behind your emotions? Your thoughts. And I want to be clear about something because this whole thoughts turn to things is an area of the law of attraction and sort of the science of manifestation that more and more I see people are really misunderstanding. So every thought you think does not turn into a reality in your life, okay? So this concept of thoughts turning to things confuses people, and in some cases even makes people scared of the law of attraction because then they start worrying about their thoughts. And a lot of people are actually getting more and more anxious the more they understand law of attraction or misunderstand law of attraction. And, I can tell you that if every thought you focused on turned into a reality, first of all, we would all be multi-billionaires, okay? So it isn't so much what you think, it's what you believe about what you think that often drives your reality. So the easiest example around this area to use is money. And if you want more help with money blocks, let me know because I have a great guide that I can send you that's about all about uncovering your money blocks. But so if you were to say to yourself, I deserve to be a multimillionaire, for example, how does that make you feel? So just say that to yourself. I deserve to be a multimillionaire. How do you feel? So for many people, it will feel very untrue. And that feeling for those people, for anyone who feels that way, is exactly why you're not a multimillionaire. So this concept gets a bit more complex though when we start to apply it to relationships, because it's one thing to start to understand your money blocks. And I mean, obviously, as you're going down the road of prosperity, that's huge. But when we start applying it to relationships, it isn't just about your thoughts and the corresponding beliefs, which of course your beliefs create your energetic frequency. It's not just that around relationships. It's your thoughts and corresponding beliefs about yourself that creates your relationship. Because a relationship is just that. It's you and how you relate with another person. So in this case, we're talking about your marriage or your partnership. So to understand your energy, any energy that's blocking some of the happiness in your relationship, or to understand your own relationship patterns, you need to take a look at what you believe about yourself and what you believe about relationships. And if you're in a relationship, you also have to take a look at what you believe about your partner. And this is, of course, what we do over in Relationships Redone. It's all about going deeper in regards to your beliefs about yourself. And then, of course, we move on to Prosper, which is more about other areas of life and success. So, and it's difficult to capture in a 5-minute video, but some examples that I often come across of common energetic blocks are, I see someone repeats, well, this is just how I am, for example. And, I have lots of people that I work with and lots of people that I know that will say things like, well, I have a temper just like my dad, or I just hate conflict, or, another one that I often hear is, well, marriage is hard, or it's not my place, or I don't like to be a burden. Those sorts of phrases are something that you really can watch and witness coming out of your own mouth, because they give a good indication about where some of your energetic blocks are coming from. Because the truth is, your childhood and earlier relationships were like the school that you learned a bunch of the lessons about yourself and how to do relationships. So if you struggle with your temper and emotional regulation, for example, you learned that, and you can learn instead to regulate so that perhaps others don't feel emotionally unsafe around you if this is something that shows up in your relationships. Or if you're someone who's a people pleaser, you learned that. And then you can learn to set boundaries instead and step into an energy of self-worth so that you can allow more ease to flow into your life. If you're somebody who avoids conflict, you learned that. You learned that conflict wasn't safe, and you can learn how instead to do disagreements well so that you can be authentic in your relationships. Another example, if you're often someone who's judgmental, or maybe you're someone who's quite critical of your partner or other, maybe you're critical of your kids, you can learn instead how to love and accept people in a safe way. Or if you learned that it isn't safe to be wrong, then you're probably someone who does a lot of blaming. And then instead, you can learn how to drop your pride and allow people to know all those parts of you. You can learn that there's safety in not being perfect. There's safety in being wrong. And of course, I would love for you to join me over in Relationships Redone, where we do all of that kind of work and more. But for today, what I want you to do is ask yourself these two simple questions. What do I believe about relationships? And what did my childhood teach me about myself that is perhaps no longer serving me or how I show up in relationships? So there's two questions. And I want you to remember this. Relationships are spiritual assignments. And when you honor that, it allows you to use your relationships as an opportunity to understand yourself at a much deeper level. And the more you do that, the better life gets. So I hope you really enjoyed this episode. Again, if you did, please subscribe. And if you'd like help with figuring out the next steps for your relationships, send me an email. I'll send you more information about how we can work together. Thank you so much for being here.